everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of AAN News. I'm Lily Kim. This Friday, the New York Committee Against Ahmadinejad will hold a rally at the UN Plaza. The same day, the Security Council is scheduled to discuss Iran's nuclear program. President Bush said efforts were on to resolve the Iranian issue diplomatically, but refused to rule out the use of nuclear weapons in the event of a showdown. Bush told reporters that the U.S. government is working hard to do so. Iran's nuclear activities were amongst the talks with Chinese President Hu Jintao during his visit to the capital last week. Bush's latest statements come at a time when diplomats from 6 countries are holding talks in Moscow on the Iranian crisis with Washington. Both Russia and China have flatly rejected any notion of sanctions as a way of pressuring the regime in Tehran. Speculation of nuclear strike on Iran with a view to taking out its facilities have been on the rise ever since a New Yorker journalist wrote in his investigative piece saying Washington was mulling the use of tactical nukes to wipe out Iran's subterranean sites. A women's group introduced a program defining the F word amongst Asian American women. Lenny Kim discovers about the feminist movement, bringing us to Columbia College, Chicago.
The Chicago Foundation for Women and Women in Gender of Columbia College held a conference for women of color. Out of all the Defining the F-Word series, the 4th part discussed Asian American women and their roles in the United States.
American woman. There are a lot of generational and certainly cultural differences in terms of how Asians view feminism or what it means to be a woman and the role of women in our communities. So we wanted to have a conversation to learn from each other.
And so we have that duality as women of color. We share that with other women of color, that we need to do work in our own community and we need to do work in society.
Although Asian American women have always worked on women's issues and have been a part of the feministic movement, they discussed the answer to the question on how feminism relates to Asian American women.
That it's about issues of identity and identity politics and issues of race and ethnicity and class and access and representation. And it's also important to understand the issues of generation so that women in their 20s may think very differently about what feminism means to them and being a feminist as opposed to women in their 30s or women in their early 40s and beyond.
The panelists agree that feminism is a Western thought and that many women in Asian countries are still bound under suppression and culture. Such panels educate ethnic women in taking pride of their own gender and to take further steps by supporting women's rights back to their home and native countries.
Chinese organizers want ceremonies of the 2008 Beijing Olympics to be the most spectacular ever seen. So who did they call? Steven Spielberg, and the man leading the project will be top Chinese film director Zhang Yimou. Zhang is best known for martial arts epics such as The Hero and House of Flying Daggers. Observers can expect to see a lot of red, China's national color. Spielberg was one of the first Westerners to shoot a movie in China, Empire of the Sun, in 1987. He and Zhang said that they were honored to be chosen. The Olympic Games have an operating budget of around $2 billion. Organizers have received over 400 proposals for the opening and closing ceremonies since they opened tendering last March. The general Filipino population is Catholic. Their community is assisting senior priests with shelters and homes. Lenny Kim has the story.
The Baha'i Parai Foundation, which means house priests, is assisting senior Catholic priests with shelters, churches, and a place to stay. According to President of AMDC, the Philippines do not have sufficient retirement plans, pensions, or funds available for senior citizens in general.
Luxury like some of the priests have in the United States, where they have Social Security benefits, they have retirement funds. And like in Asian countries, especially in the Philippines, we don't have that luxury there. By the time they retire, they don't have the Social Security benefits enough for them to survive to buy another place, or maybe haven't even enough money for medicine.
In Chicago, the Republic of Philippine Alliance, otherwise known as Tropa, is a non-for-profit organization raising funds from the local Chicago Filipino community to contribute to Baha'i Pari.
Alliance for any community, not just the Filipinos, where we get together, we do a lot of fundraising, and the monies that we receive, we actually donate it back to the Baha'i Pari Foundation in the Philippines, and they in turn go ahead and use that to build the community, which they've already started. So far, they have the pavilions, they have retreat houses, they have one of the first homes that was built. And right now our next project is to build a church.
The gospel group known as the Levites are also on tour sending benefits from their open concerts back home to their native country to help create a safe haven for the seniors. With a population of around 100,000 in Chicago, the local Filipino community, although separated on other issues, comes together on religious movements. Organizations like Tropa and Baha Pare are helping the Philippines in terms of development, creating religious institutions that provide sanctuaries for their citizens.
The Indian community celebrates a ritual known as the Ram Navami. Ali Yoon takes us to Northeastern Illinois University to join in with the festivity.
Ram Navami is a religious celebration held to commemorate the birth of Lord Rama. This special commemoration was conducted at the Science Building of Northeastern Illinois University. With attendance of around 20 people, this ritual showed the colorful culture of India.
This America is a diverse ethnic group is here on this campus. So we celebrate this. You must know we have many students other than Hindu also. So this like we also go to their celebration as we invited him. So we are making our culture aware to the other people.
Starting with an explanation of the event, a Hindu priest led others to participate in the commemoration. The prayer was spoken in Indian, and by the situation, everyone could feel how lively Indians consider Ram Navami.
Today's event reminds me about my home country where we celebrate all the festivals. There we get also days off for different festivals. Here we celebrate in school days.
I really enjoyed it. It was very soothing, and it's kind of my first experience like this. So I don't have much to compare it to, but I had a good time.
The Assistant Dean of Academic Development, Yasami Rennie, stated that the Northeastern Illinois University is always open to a variety of cultures, and it is a great thing to show other ethnic groups festival.
Ram Navami is a celebration of his birth, and Rama is one of the very important deities and gods in Hinduism. And Northeastern Illinois University is committed to promoting diversity and bringing the culture of different countries, of ethnicities, of different religions to the campus. So we are really delighted to be able to do this today for our faculty, our staff, and our students.
Everyone gathered and ate traditional Indian food and different types of fruits. Their faces were painted and decorated. Attendees said the event was colorful and the unique Indian festival gave them a diverse perspective towards other cultures. Ali Yoon, AAN, Chicago.
President Bush expressed much personal regret after a protester heckled at China's president last week during his welcoming ceremony. Hu Jintao was gracious accepting Bush's apology, and the two moved on with their talks, and it was not mentioned again in the several hours of meetings. The Secret Service identified the protester as 47-year-old Dr. Wenny Wang. the woman began shouting from the top of a camera stand, both in Chinese and in heavily accented English. She shouted, "President Bush, stop him from killing," and "President Bush, stop him from persecuting the fallen Gong." Wang gained access to the elaborate ceremony with a press credential through the Epoch Times. Secret Service spokesman said that she had been charged with disorderly conduct and that a charge of intimidating or disrupting foreign officials is also being considered. And stay tuned for more AAN All up next after this. A local Latin restaurant chose a Thai interior designer to decorate his kitchen with Asian flair. Ali Yoon takes us to Ole Ole.
Asian interior designer Shri Janthanoma decorated Ole Ole, a Latino restaurant using Asian influences. This restaurant looks beautiful from both the inside and outside. During lunch, people can sit on the comfortable chairs and enjoy the view of Chicago streets. Bright sunshine comes to the big window, and inside the entrance, a large chandelier provides an assortment of lights to the Asian tones in the restaurant.
The Latin, including their music, has such an energy, has such a fun feeling. I right away haven't have the background of Asian, and of course coming from Bangkok, Thailand, I was familiar with the combination of beautiful, bright colors, textures, fabrics of Thailand. And I was able to further my design thoughts into the theme of the Latin cuisine, which is immediately the energy that's geared me towards the red colors.
We went to second floor examining the unique and comfortable look, balanced with curtains and picture frames, giving a harmonious blend.
As in the bathroom, public bathrooms always have to create the atmosphere that combine and work with the restaurant as well. So of course I continue my red color theme into the public bathroom, where with a combination of beautiful dark wood doors, and again works very well with the whole entire creation of the restaurant, where the people come in and you can see the combination of art, and again with the enhancement of the red color roses, which is giving a little more inviting to come into the restaurant, and also of course with the washing area.
Janthanoma stated that she wants others to come, have fun, and relax at either the bar or the restaurant that provides a friendly atmosphere. Janthanoma is also decorating another Vietnamese restaurant, and it will be open in June.
Be in the environment that I created for the first time, and it's quite lovely and it's quite wonderful to be in. And again, to be able to see and the reaction of people, and to get the perception of everybody else who come in here, it was quite interesting.
Students of the University of Illinois Chicago got a little advice from some of the school's Asian graduates new to the workforce. Lenny Kim has the details.
The Asian American Resource Cultural Center at UIC provided a question and answer segment for alumni with professional careers and current students. The meeting was to help students have a better understanding about life after graduation and on how different choices can affect different career paths.
We really are trying to raise awareness of Asian Americans, both for the Asian American students and also for the non-Asian American community, to learn more about what Asian Americans have to offer and our rich heritage here.
The panelists included employees from different companies, claims representative from State Farm Wu Kang, agent Hamina Panetta, and Chad Vastasali, art director from Gaston Advertising.
Important for students just because they get a good grasp of, like, hearing from somebody who had actually gone through the exact same steps that they've gone through. Now I'm in the corporate world and I can relay my experiences to them. They're always welcome to come and visit, but this way they can do it at their convenience at their school.
The students had many questions regarding the advantages and disadvantages of race, including some of the most important leadership skills necessary in the professional world. They were particularly curious on what skills they could learn in college and can be actually applied in the real world.
Communication skills are a must, actually, because you've got to be able to communicate with everybody. And, you know, in the business world, not everything is what they teach you in the textbook, so you got to make sure you have a nice broad perspective of the whole world altogether.
The different experiences, the emphasis on communication skills and networking skills, and basically the experiences and the advantages of being an Asian American in the workplace, and some of the disadvantages and how to deal with that.
Such panels assist students with a better understanding when applying for jobs and entering a company. Students are urged to be active not only in extracurricular clubs, but attending such useful events for their future.
Our Ellie Yoon visits one non-for-profit organization who helps refugees and survivors from the killing field. This Cambodian group not only aids in their own community, but for others as well in need.
The first generation of Cambodians immigrated to the U.S. in 1975. Ever since then, heartbroken refugees settle in other countries, such as Australia, France, and Canada. After a year of their settlement to the U.S., the first Cambodian Association of Illinois was established in 1976.
We have a lot of challenge. I think one of the big challenges is the majority of the client that we serve is survivor. You know, they have so much, trauma, they have so much pain in their mind, and so, it's pretty tough. That's the challenge number one. And the challenge number two is the leadership, in the community. Because
the Cambodian Association of Illinois is a non-profit organization, has 3 departments for the community, including education, museum, and cultural. Each department has their own specific role to help the community. Kompa Seth, the executive director of Cambodian Association, said that the association is not only to help the Cambodian community, but also to assist other ethnic groups. He also mentioned from time to time other communities comes for the identification as well as social service. Seth also stated that the association is always appreciative of volunteers and people who donate their time, money, and support.
I want them to come, I want them to learn and take the information back and, talk within their family, and if they have a problem and a question, that I want them to feel welcome to come back to the association and said, Kat, I have a problem and I need your help, small or big. I'm always open to talk it over and discuss and come up with a solution together as a community.
The association has approximately 20 to 30 meetings in the U.S. During the main meeting, 4 non-profit organizations of the Cambodian Association in the U.S. gather and discuss on how to help those who are suffering, survivors from killing field. The executive director hopes the organization can contribute to all ethnicities. Ellie Yoon, AAN, Chicago.
More and more Filipinos can neither speak nor understand English. This is despite the national policy that requires public schools to use English as the language medium. The ability to speak English is seen as a ticket to a better life in the Philippines, but English proficiency has dropped significantly. According to one poll, only 32% say they speak English, down from a 54% from the year 2000. About 65% they understood spoken English, a 12% decrease than previous surveys. English proficiency is seen as one of the key advantages in the Philippines as the global market tries to compete with India. The deteriorating English ability is affecting the economy. One Filipino newspaper columnist quotes, "Learning another language is specialized and a voluntary process. It can't be forced on people who don't use any of it in their daily lives," end quote. Thank you for choosing AAN News for your choice of Asian news in Chicago. I'm Lily Kim. Tune in every Monday nights at 10:30 and catch our reruns Tuesday mornings at 7:30 for the latest on your community news.